Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together, we are TwinFinity.
We're twin flames in union, sharing our journey through a series of videos. This is now video number 30, called The Magic of the 1111 Gateway. So much excitement, which is why we have sparkles behind us. And you have no idea the efforts we have gone through to make these sparkles happen. And they're happening even better than we expected right now.
So to explain the sparkles, what we have, I might as well show where we are and explain this a little bit better.
We're crazy people.
We have a crackle vase, and we got sunlight coming in through the window, and that, with all the little crackles in it, is making these sparkles. And the reason that they're twinkling is the sunlight's coming in through a tree. We are in Angie's meditation room, and it's also the treatment room. This is very much a sacred space. I usually don't come in here for much more than doing a little bit of vacuuming. And then I scamper out of the way because this is her area. Oh, looks like I'm going to have a dot of sunlight all through me too.
Now, can I tell them how I discovered this? How we even came about doing this weird idea?
Okay.
So I think it was Saturday night. We're in the kitchen. Yeah, you had come home from golf. Yeah. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. We're in the kitchen, and all of my crystals that I have kind of in the kitchen, we're making prisms all over the kitchen walls. And I just had this like, oh, wow, I wish we could do a video here. But the prisms were like way too high on the ceiling. So then I had this brilliant idea. Well, if we use this vase and reflect it with the sun, where the sun is, then this will work. So we spent all Saturday night making this try to happen. But then the sun went down, and it was like, okay, forget it. So it worked now.
The sparkles will probably go away in a few minutes because, the sun changing angles and going in behind a tree and everything else that happens. Well, hey, we've caught this moment.
Yes, we did, and I'm so excited because we're sharing about 11/11 Day, November 11th, 2014, and the crazy amazing things that happened. And for crazy amazing, you need sparkles. And we have sparkles. I'm so happy.
We have sparkles.
Yes, we do.
I would call them twinkles, but that's okay. They're sparkles.
Sparkles, twinkles, it's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, for a recap of last week, Angie was being shown greater purpose of twin flames and other light workers to help heal help heal the earth with our light and love. Angie kept getting the message, it's time for her, from her Reiki sessions. Okay, it's one of those nights.
Rob's had a long day at work.
Very long.
We normally do our videos on a Sunday, but it's a Monday today. So.
And I've got a big chunk of chocolate that I've eaten, and you think that would perk me up a little. It's been a day. Angie kept getting messages that it's time from her Reiki sessions, dreams, email, newspaper messages, etc., and TF videos. Telepathically, I kept asking Angie to tell the human Rob that we were twin flames. I don't recall that. Angie resisted for a long time despite getting sign after sign. She was fearful of ruining the relationship and friendship that we had. Yes, that's always a big fear.
Yes.
Finally, after synchronistically getting the sign she was asking for, Angie told me about our connection.
And it was scary.
After she told me, she cried, fearing that she'd never hear from me again. I replied with a somewhat long text that also had the words, I still love you, within the text.
Which makes you the superhero in everybody's eyes right now. I know you guys have been waiting forever for Rob to be like a part of all of this, because for so long it's been my story and my journals, and it's been all about my journey with Rob's little smatterings here and there. But now you finally get to hear Rob's side of the story, and the two things that people commented most about were the I still love you. One lady was like, oh my God, that is like the most fairy tale comment ever. I know, right? Like, who expected that? And the other one everybody loved was the what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, everybody's commenting on that one. So I just wanted to show you again, this was the sign that I got that affirmed to me that it was time to tell Rob that we were indeed twin flames, because I had been asking for this for 6 months. Now, I did not ever see this picture before. For those of you that might know a country music group called Sugarland, I buy my music online, and so I don't see like the album cover, so I've never seen this before. So when I got it as that sign, it was just like a wow. What was also neat is when I was preparing for this video is when I actually discovered it says love on the inside. Is that not cool? Is that not all about what twin flames are? Love on the inside. Brilliant! I got even more of a sign than I was asking for. So cool. Now, I also wanted to make a few other comments. First of all, thank you for all of your comments. Oh my God, we've never had such a rave review on a video as we have on this one. You guys were like just wowed by this one, and we had no idea it would be that wow, but we were excited to tell it, so I guess it came through excitedly. And what's so funny is how many of you commented how different our energy was, how expansive our energy was, which I find funny. I'm going to tell a little bit of a TMI, too much information bit here. I was actually last week PMSing, and when I PMS around a full moon, it's kind of ugly. And so we actually had 5. Our video that actually worked was our 5th try. I kept screwing up the title when we'd start, and we never have that many tries, maybe 2. But I was just miserable. I was cranky. In fact, after or before our last try, I said to Rob, you know what, if we had dragged all this stuff out here, then I'd just forget it and we'd just do this another day when I'm happy. And I was just like, rah, rah, rah. And then we do this video and you're all like thrilled with our energy. So I'm glad I was able to shift my energy enough. And I'm amazed that you didn't pick up the miserable part. If you did, you haven't commented. So that's good.
Amazing is Angie's word. But I always do find it amazing that no matter how tired things have been, or whether it's after a 12-hour workday or anything else that happens, I still find it literally, truly amazing that we still always, as soon as we get into a video, it just always flows.
We just kind of froze there, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I bet you we didn't froze in reality. We always get these little weird things.
Weird glitches.
So, yeah, the glitch didn't happen. Probably not on your side. It only happened on ours.
I just have one other comment, if I may. I know, I'm sorry. I'm all excited because our sparkles, so I'm like, ah. For those of you that diligently wait for our videos, I know there's so many that comment that our videos are like your, weekly TV show that you're like waiting for. Last week, I was trying to put our video out on our normal Monday like I do, and no matter what I did, it would not happen. I literally tried to upload both on YouTube and Facebook probably 5 or 6 times. From 9 in the morning until I think I tried again at like 8 or 9 at night.
We checked. It wasn't Mercury retrograde.
I know. I thought it was just because it was refused to work. And because I was like miserable and PMSy, I was all, and there was quite a few choice words coming out of my mouth. And I'm very grateful that I have an extremely patient, loving, wonderful husband because he's so tolerant of me.
Last week, bleep.
Yes. And, it's funny. I'm sharing this because it not only relates to now, but it relates to our story that's coming up, which is so funny. So anyway, I finally I accept, okay, fine. The video is just not meant to go up on Monday. Had no idea why. Tuesday, video goes up, no problem. No problem at all. Then finally, after it's up, I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and I see one of our dear friends who watches our videos. Love you. You know who you are. She posts, Happy 11 Day and Happy Full Moon Day. And I was just like, are you kidding me? All of a sudden, the dots all came together. And I was just like, okay, now I get why the video wouldn't go up the day before. Our video was the 29th video. We had talked about the fact that it was like an 11 video. Here it was, the 29th, the Tuesday that our video went up instead of the 28th. And it was the full moon, which we also talked about in our video about the full moon that was happening at the time of our story 4 years ago.
So it was just meant to wait another day.
It was.
Sometimes when things are just not going well, just wait till they do. Usually there's a reason that you figure out after the fact.
Yes. And so for all of those that you think, how is my union ever going to happen? How is my twin flame ever going to wake up? How is the universe ever going to get us together? Well, trust that the universe has its own plan. And while we may have ours, the universe wins every time. So never doubt that divine timing is real. And when something is not meant to happen, it won't. And when it's meant to happen, it will. Crazy.
Okay. Now I wanted to go on a little spiel myself.
Oh boy.
Were we going to go into the story first, and then I was going to take a break and spiel, or do you want me to?
No, let's go into our story, and then you can spiel as we go, because it'll kind of tie in as we're
going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, we left off where I had told Rob we're twin flames, and his response was, I still love you. And we left off that I had just at the top of the stairs said, thank you so much for your text. I can have no more tears now, but I didn't tell him why there was tears to begin with. So we're going to carry on from there. It was still the Saturday, November 8th of 2014. And later that evening, in fact, it was 6:46 p.m., I said, okay, I think I've read your text 3 or 4 times now, but still the shock hasn't worn off. Good shock, no worries. In other words, I'm reassuring him because he was all afraid that he freaked me out by saying he loved me. So I said, after I sent my long text, I just sat and cried, fearing that all that I shared would just be too much and that I'd never hear from you again. I didn't expect a reply, let alone the beautiful and heartfelt reply you gave. Wow, it may take days for it all to sink in. Yes, so much to talk about. Let me say, though, thank you. Thank you for trusting you and me to share, and thank you for not only being honest with me, but yourself as well. Not to sound smug or cocky, because I really wasn't, but I know you still love me. I just didn't know that you consciously knew or would admit it to me or you. Your eyes and your touch say more than your words ever could. When we said goodbye after our lunch visit before I left for Paris last year, the way you hugged me said I never want to let you go. Remember when we shared that part? I felt that. And I so didn't want to let you go. While we're being super honest, I still love you too. Oh boy, love's thrown around all over the place now. I've always loved you and knew that I always would. How could I not after all we shared? But for a lot of years, I was able to love you in a tiny corner of my heart and move on with my life, knowing that what we had was special but over. The love changed somehow last year. The soul connection love came back, and I didn't know why until I found the info about twin flames, and then I put in brackets TFs, just so as we talked more about it, I could abbreviate it. God, I could say so much more, but tongue-tied, and then I put in brackets finger-tied, LOL.
Texting.
Yes. And I don't want to overwhelm you because I know this is a lot to take in. So for now, I'll just leave it at thank you so much and hug back at you. And then you said?
I said, good night. Much more to say later for both of us with a smiley face. Just a simple response, probably not enough.
I'm going to try and get our sparkles back a little bit, but I think they're gone.
I think they're gone.
Just
there's a couple.
Yeah, the sun's going down, but we got a few. Oh, well. Oh, okay. So then he had already warned me that he might be offline for the weekend because, of course, he was going to be around his partner. So the whole time I'm like freaking out thinking, oh my God, like, have I said too much? Have I scared him?
Being insecure is very, very much a part of this path. As much as you tell somebody something and they say, yep, all good, it's very, very hard to believe that, yeah, I'm all good.
It is. It's hard to trust all of the stuff that you get in 5D and believe that it's real, as I know a lot of you have been sharing with me lately. So that night in my journal, the Saturday night, I said, wow, what a day. A bit of an emotional roller coaster, but everything ended on top, not the bottom. Wow. He said, I love you. When I hear those words in my head, I get tingles all through my body. I can't even write about it yet because I need to absorb it. And I haven't even told my friend Marie yet for the same reason. Just so in shock. So I'll leave it for now and continue with my other stuff. Keep manifesting because it's working. And hey, I guess I can trust that all I'm getting is correct info now. So finally I'm starting to trust. So the manifesting that I was doing was still writing out every day, 3 times a day, everything that I wanted, everything that I saw. I was still doing the work. I think we had a little more to tell on this. So yes. Then Sunday night, of course, I waited all day on pins and needles hoping for a text, even though he warned me he might not. Sunday night, I just said to him, hey, wondering if you would do me a favor. I know you said you may be offline for a day or two, which I appreciate the heads up on. I just feel a bit concerned that I've said too much and freaked you out. If possible, would you just give me a quick update on how you're doing? Just an okay, need space, freaked out, whatever. Just so I know where you're at. Thank you.
And I said, not freaked out at all. My karmic and I are going to be together all weekend. Can't take the risk of her seeing, my phone with our contents of our discussions. Here we go down that road.
Yeah, it started early.
I'm quite okay, but I did lose a bit of sleep. More on that later. Good night. Gotta go. Again, not terribly warm and fuzzy. Factual.
Yes, factual. And I'm just like, okay, we got that beforehand. So then Sunday night I wrote in my journal, well, I feel better knowing he's not freaked out and quite okay. I feel very concerned about the karmic thing. What am I doing? I'm not a homewrecker. This is exactly why I've resisted telling him for so long. Because for all intents and purposes, we're both married to other people. I keep thinking his relationship is kind of like mine though. There but not. Guess I'll find out when he shares more. So this is exactly why. I mean, I had held back from telling him because I kept waiting for some shift, waiting for my relationship to finally completely be over or his to completely be over. I didn't want to go tell him and ruin his relationship, ruin mine, ruin anybody's life. That wasn't my intent. But it was just the way it was meant to be. So then Monday, I get a text from him.
I said, yeah, it was a license plate text. Yeah, number 737. It was at the service bays at work.
And I just said, nice one, LOL. I'm still looking for, what am I looking for? 158.
158. How long ago that was.
So here, all we're having a conversation about is
license plates.
And you can imagine what I was thinking. So I'm writing nothing on my phone from him this morning. I hate the silence. I so want to know what the so much more to talk about is on his ends. Patience, I guess. Yeah, so here I am stressed going, okay, great. So now here's where the interesting funny part comes in. And I'm going to need Rob's help on some bleeping. We haven't had bleeping for quite some time, but I need help now.
Okay.
This is still Monday.
Poor girl. I hear I haven't said anything negative. She's already needing bleeping.
Yeah. So I said, feeling discouraged. Only heard from Rob once today, and it was about license plates. Seriously? We just declared our love for each other, and all we have to talk about is license plates?
Bleep.
This
bleep. Bleeping.
Emotional roller coaster is just too
bleeping.
Much. 6 months of sending the man love, pounding him with love, and still license plates is our topic of conversation?
Bleep, 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 bleep. With bleep sprinkles.
Yeah.
Or is it bleep twinkles?
Sprinkles, twinkles, whatever. They're bleeping. Doesn't help either that I'm having super bad PMS because of a shitty sleep, full moon, and too much sugar.
Bleep.
So back then, PMS, full moon, still the combination doesn't mix for me. Didn't then, still doesn't now. It's funny, the synchronicity of how it all ties in. So then I said, I've reached the end of my
bleeping
coping and my patience, faith, and hope. Is this bullshit gonna drag on
bleep,
forever?
Bleep poop.
Okay, well now that I've had my rant, let's get on with it. So I had my little temper tantrum, then I started again with my manifesting. You can see it in here. I got all my manifesting going on still, so I just got out all the anger, and then I continued. But I was so discouraged, because I'm like, seriously? You told me you love you. You told me you love me. I told you I love you. This is confusing.
A little bit of self-love is all good.
It's all good. Well, you have to get to self-love to get to union love, so hey. But we declare all our love for each other, and then that's it. Our whole conversation Monday is license plates. Didn't leave me with a lot of hope that anything had changed, and all this work I had done a damn thing. Okay, so I have to read text number 9. I got notes all over the place again because we're between journals and texts. So this is number 9. Okay, is this my turn? Okay, so this is now 11/11, November 11th of 2014 at 6:46 in the morning.
Some people start early.
I did because I was desperate. I'm like, I can't cope with another day. You got to tell me something. If you tell me to buzz off, I'll respect that. Just tell me something. So I said, I too have a pounding heart, because that's what he said on the Saturday when I told him about we were twin flames, and have been losing sleep, trying to be patient, but ready to hear some more of the lots more to talk about and much more to say that he was saying we had. So I said, are you ready to share more?
And I said, ready for more. I suppose that a face-to-face talk is a high priority, but I have to accept texting for now. Fire away. I will let you know if I reach saturation. That's something that I would say. I guess sometimes when I'm under stress, I get more formal, maybe a little more wordy, instead of less.
Yeah. But you text so funny. So I said, okay, well, actually, I was hoping to hear from you. What's the more you have? On Saturday, after you shared that you still love me, you said we have lots more to talk about. And on Sunday, you said, I did lose a lot of sleep. Much more on that later. I'm ready for the more. Where are you at? What's going on? Talk to me.
And I said,
gee, a little panicked, are we?
True. At work, though, no time this hour.
So you can imagine just how much my heart sank. I completely felt like he was blowing me off, and again, there was nothing, that he was just barely hanging on. He was still willing to communicate, but all the I love you stuff, no, gone. So my response was, okay, understand. And it was in that tone that I texted, like,
Yeah, no
Eeyore.
dots, no exclamation marks.
Just heartbroken.
No happy face.
No.
Yeah, that's how I read it too, is, okay, understand.
It was so sad. And that was at 9:15 in the morning. I love that this program tells us. This is so cool. And then finally at 10:08, you text me.
Okay.
Are we ready? Rob's going to read a book. Why do we keep freezing? I hope we're not freezing for you guys, but we're freezing for us.
Yeah. I said, head swimming in a good way. I'm really having to do a gut check where my head is at. I'm relying on my spiritual side with a sprinkling of socially acceptable, pure human relations. I call that logic. To keep from driving myself half crazy. Twin flames is a complete topic, but not for this message. Still having notable levels of troubles, still having a notable level of love for you while still being in another relationship with another is difficult. Much room for emotional conflict. Much more room for missteps in communication. Somewhat with you, but mostly with others. And change in our character may be imperceptible to us, but totally obvious to others. Be clear, though. You have plenty of room to push my boundaries with tons of limit room.
Aww.
That's called opening a door.
Yeah.
If anyone needs and deserves the room to communicate in my life, it is you.
Now, I'm just going to prepare you. If you were blown away by the I still love you, all of this next stuff is going to blow you away even more, because it blew me away. Remember,
Okay.
This is 11/11. This is November 11th. Holy crap, did things shift?
Now, an hour and a half later, with no other encouragement or coaching,
Because I didn't respond.
I just kind of spewed out of my own self what I thought was really going on. I said, twin flames, condensed version because I am working. First of all, I could use a bit more discussion on the basics of the concept of twin flame from your point of view. I'm sure that we are on a similar understanding, but I'm fascinated by the concept and amazed that we are influenced and bound by this honor. I'm still sorting majorly on whether twin flaming creates the high respect I have for you / us, or is it influenced by love? Does it create love? Are they one and the same, or do they work in parallel? What am I supposed to do with all these feelings and questions? More later. Busy again. Yeah, work occasionally kicks in and makes me work.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Now, remember from our last video, I had not shared anything about twin flames with him. All I did was tell him we were this, or that I thought we were this. I didn't give him any information, nor did he read anything on the internet. This is where his gifts started coming out. He's very clair. I always forget which one you are.
Clairsentient.
Yeah. He just no. Is it clairsentient? Whatever it is. You guys know.
It was claircognizance and
Claircognizance. That's what it is. Because you just know things.
Things just come to me.
Yes.
Just all of a sudden I go, oh, aha moments with no clues.
Completely. And he blows me away. I mean.
Some people call these downloads.
Yeah. I've been studying this stuff at that point for a year and a half. He hadn't studied it at all, and he's telling me what we are and how we're bound by this honor. And what beautiful words. Like, could you get any more beautiful words?
Without any more coaching, I said, FYI, you have had weeks/months to dwell on this topic. I've had just a few short days to sort and file. I've not had a spiritual change like this in years. And it is much more exciting than exhausting. Still, my energy is being rationed between work and this and everything else. I apologize if I seem scattered. I really need a 5-minute hug. I so do not want to disappoint you by missing the moments of discovery.
Hug! You deserve like a bazillion-year hug, a 5-minute hug for that. I mean, wow! I don't want to disappoint you by missing the moments. I mean, I was in tears when I read all this.
Wow.
Now, yeah, I wrote you a book. I don't know if I'm going to read all that book.
I could go have supper with this book.
Do you need to show them, or should I just...
No, it's just big.
Yeah.
Lots.
Well, here, show them yours. You had, like, all that. So, you know.
Yeah, but I took a break. In fact, I took 2 breaks.
Fine. I don't even remember what I said now. Okay, I'll just read some of this.
Yes.
So I said, thank you for sharing, really. Your responses, especially on the TF stuff, tells me you're ready for more. You don't think I'm bleeping crazy. And I said, by the way, let me preface this dialogue with some FYIs. I feel very tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired. I've been doing incredibly intense work on this stuff for the past 6 months, and today I feel punchy. So please excuse the language and profanity, okay? In other words, I'm warning him. There might be some F words flying around. I'll explain more on the tired and work I've done later. Baby steps. Ooh, wrong word. Forgot about the baby part. I've been told to give you info in baby steps. So I was guided intuitively that I could only tell him after he told me. I was only allowed to give him information once he either asked for it or once he gave it to me. So I had to really pull back and not give too much. So then I was just asking for more information because I was asking for clarity on some of what he said, but I told him I completely understand the emotional conflict. And I was saying, you know, how I discovered that, you know, I was twin flames or we were twin flames and that I was still in another relationship and happy in my relationship when I discovered this. So I held the guilt and the struggle too, but I said now I'm kind of like my relationship has really moved on and, you know, we're at a very different place. So it's much easier for me to reconcile my feelings with now. But I said, you know, I can understand yours wouldn't be because you're still very much in a committed relationship. So I was just validating that I understood. I understood being crazy. I understood the struggle. But I also said, despite a deeply spiritual person, I'm very logical, left brain, and things need to make sense to me in my head, not just my heart and soul. When I found the information about twin flame stages and signs, I copied and pasted the info from many different websites and sources into a Word document. Printed it all out, analyzed it against my journals, and I said never ever before did I ever feel grateful for my journals, and never before did I ever think I'd read them again. All I wrote and all I described of our time together, and also what I was currently experiencing, matched. I still have all of my printed info with check marks and comments. So I was just explaining how I got to all of this just to give him a little bit of backstory. And then I sent him a big, long text hug. It was like, hug! Just to validate that I'm here for you, buddy. And then I said, you could never disappoint me. I'm in awe, total shock, really, grateful beyond belief, and utterly amazed at your openness, your readiness, and your level of understanding. Yes, I've had lots of time to sort, file, and analyze, etc. Yet you, only a matter of days, are getting it. You truly amaze me, so please never, ever feel like you're disappointing me. God, my heart feels like it's going to burst right out of my heart or my chest with love for you and gratitude for you. I mean, I was just ecstatic. I'm like, how is this man knowing all of this stuff? Oh God, then I sent you another book. So then I was just telling him I was ecstatic and that I was exhausted and how happy I was. So I was sharing with him, I was explaining a little bit about how the twin flame stuff works, that one usually wakes up before the other, and then it's the other's job to sort of help the other one wake up. And I said, what's also amazing is this is truly real. I've been living on complete faith for so long, not even sure if the stuff was real or if I was just a nutcase. I did the work I was asked to do anyways for 6 months, and oh my God, it's actually real. I don't want to tell you too much all at once because I don't want to fry your brain or overload your circuits. Shit, I may overload my own with complete and utter shock. Oh my God, oh my God. And then I said, do you remember the first day we met and the wow cube term we came up with to signify wow, wow, wow? You may not, and that's okay. Just to say I'm having a wow cube moment right now, but in the best possible way. I may burst from utter joy. And I mean, that's how I felt. I was going to freaking explode. So then I was just understanding or validating, yes, I understand. I've had time to catch up or time to do all this and you haven't, so don't worry. I said, you're in the driver's seat, so just ask and tell me what you need and I shall accommodate as able. I don't know why we keep freezing. I wonder if our computer's a little too cold. Can you maybe take this under it just so it's got, I don't know if that'll help. We're having weird computer glitchy problems, so hopefully you're not seeing it. So then I sent him more text hugs just to help him. And then you get to say more cool stuff.
Where do I get this material? Clarification of unstated info.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So how do you clarify something that hasn't been even discussed yet? That's just me.
You're amazing.
My angle of spiritual studies is less about the human to creator aspect and more about the human to human aspect. I'm more able to relate to this new direction of growth that we are on than most other directions of growth. I will never likely spend the time online working on the details, but as I learn, I would be honored to help us get to a satisfactory level of understanding of this style of bond that we share. Think of me as an always dependable, comfy beanbag chair. I'm tired, working until late, checking texts regularly, might call.
Now, for those of you that have been watching our story from the very beginning, you may remember the beanbag chair from our very first day together. Do you want to explain a little bit about the beanbag chair?
A beanbag chair just feels all comfy when you plop down into it. It nestles you evenly everywhere and it just fits.
Yeah, and he used to describe it when we first met, like our souls were in a beanbag chair because we kind of just like melted together, right? So it was amazing that all these years later, he's still referring to the beanbag chair. It was like, oh, melting my heart all over the place. So I said, perfect timing. Just got home from work. We'll comment in full in a bit. Quick comment for now. Call is great if you desire, as my evening is open. Would love to see you and give you a big hug, but don't know if that's too much for right now. More response to follow in a bit. And then you just said...
I just said K. Actually, KK.
Yeah. So then I said, okay, thanks for clarity and a desire to ease your concerns. I'll call them, if I understand you correct. You do not need at all to do online study or have an understanding of the underlying dynamics of what we are, like I have. I had to do it because that's how my brain works, and I needed to understand what or WTF, I'll just say, was going on. The human-to-human part is the most important part anyways. And if you like now that I have time, I can answer your earlier texts and explain the understanding of twin flames. You tell me if you're ready for more. Hell, I'm just thrilled you get it and desire to get us to a satisfactory level of understanding of our bond. I'm still in shock, but thrilled. Glad to share my understandings when you're ready to hear more. I don't know if you want to share that, but it relates to the day, so.
I said, just stood outside for 5 minutes. No hat, no coat. Now this is mid-November. This is actually
in
cold
Canada.
outside. Just my indoor clothes. Once a year on Remembrance Day, I communicate, I put in brackets, pray, to Creator. Usually this is in thanks for all the good in my life and to ask for help for those who I know need help. I recap the good and bad I have done and, of course, ask for thanks for those who gave all and more, well, in uniform for the human armies. It is Remembrance Day, after all.
Yes.
I do not feel much cold in the air while I am doing this ceremony. That might be the most important thing that I ever do on a scheduled basis in my entire life. I believe Creator understands the intents of our prayers, however said.
And I was just amazed that this man that I always thought was spiritual but yet not spiritual does this ritual every year. Like, how beautiful. Such an honorable thing to do. So I was just like, wow, beautiful and touching. And then you blew me away with more, I think.
I intend to learn a lot from you.
Yeah, you blew me
Because
away.
we are not in touch by being in a living together relationship, we are likely limited in our growth and learning curves as a spiritual pair.
Now, how did he know we're a spiritual pair? Did I tell him that? No. How did he get that?
Communication time is the key trouble. Small snips of info at a time with the occasional coffee/supper gathering will have to do. Our karmics do not have a hope of understanding any of this. I feel like I am hiding a huge part of myself, but that's how it goes. My path with our learnings is where I want to be. Big hug, girl. I'm with you.
Aww.
Now, I'd like to expand just a little bit here on where my head really was. I was in a committed relationship. This relationship had had some difficult times, but I was still committed to the relationship with a little bit of understanding that I didn't see it lasting quite forever, but I didn't see it ending anytime soon either. So I, in my own head, was not at all thinking of getting back into a relationship with Angie. In fact, if anything at this point, I was just looking for something to make our friendship close and special and understood so that it could have a chance of just being the friendship that I was hoping it would be. In reality, I was still, I don't want to use the words under pressure, but I had an understanding from karmic number 1 that if anything ever happened between me and karmic 2, I could go back to karmic number 1 anytime at the drop of a hat with open arms. Yeah. And really, karmic 1 at this point was still completely my plan B because I had no thoughts of going back to Angie. I thought, hey, just like every other relationship that's ever had its little moment and has left, you don't start over again. You just generally just don't. They end for a reason. Leave it ended.
But yet you were still thinking of going back to karmic 1. So that's interesting that you had that sort of thought with her.
But karmic 1 had that special position of always being a filler in between.
Yes, she was always there in the background.
Always in the background, waiting to catch me as I fell off my horse.
And she was patiently waiting, hoping you were going to leave your relationship.
She'd been waiting for years.
Years.
And she let me know that she'd been waiting for years.
Yes.
And she's been waiting patiently for this karmic 2 relationship to come to its end.
Yeah.
So I completely owed it to her to give her another shot because, I had nothing against my karmic number 1, really, other than the thought that I had never stayed with her in between these other interludes and relationships.
Yeah.
So that's where I was at.
So you were recognizing that we had this connection, this bond, but you weren't at all thinking we have a future together, we could be together, nothing like that.
No, didn't have that.
Yeah. I really, really hope this video turns out because it's really weird. So we'll see what happens. So then I said, yay, my heart leaps with joy. It's really how I texted too. God, so much to say. First, trust your soul and its guidance, as things will flow as they're meant to. That's funny. That's what I say to all of you still, isn't it? One of the biggest things I've been told on this journey is don't force it, but don't fight it. All will flow as it's meant to, in its right time. And no, while on a human level our karmics may not get this, they do on a soul level, and they have played their role in helping us get to where we are. They are to be blessed for helping us grow. What I've come to understand is what each of us are currently in is a soulmate relationship. They are souls who have had who we have had many lives with, and we have grown with. We have worked our karma out with them and experienced soul love with them. This lifetime, they've agreed in their role as spirit was to help us work through issues and karma and such to be prepared for the twin flame union and journey. So now I understand why my relationship with Regan was so hard. On a human level, I tend to judge him at times, but on a soul level, I bless him and thank him. Because without him, I wouldn't be where I am. He's helped me do huge amount of soul work, karma clearing, and learning of who I am and what makes me tick. I can't speak for you and your relationship, but I've been hugely... I can't speak for you and your relationship, but it's been instrumental in my growth. Yes, I know what you mean about feeling like you're hiding a huge part of yourself. I felt so long ago that I was betraying Regan on a certain level, but as I've grown into my understanding, I'm understanding more about the fact that they agreed to this path as much as we did. Our partners have agreed to help us. How amazing is that? So no, they may not get it on a human level, but on a soul-wise level, they play their part. And yeah, just an aside, I may bloody well faint from the shock of your amazing growth and understanding and acceptance of all this. So if I go offline, it's because I fainted, LOL. Because I was just like, oh my God, who is this man? Then I said, you're truly friggin' amazing. Oh my God, I'm grateful that I was able to shut this all off for a bit and focus on work. Before I left for work, I was shaking so much I didn't even know how I was going to drive. And by the way, my path with our learnings is where I want to be too. So very much with you on that.
I said, firstly, I'm pounding through work chores, and this work/spiritual whiplash is tough.
Can you imagine?
Here I am, working one moment, and then stop, back into spiritual world, just long enough to put together a text. I feel that we are understanding that we are pretty much alone on this journey. Let's take the first deliberate steps of understanding. If all our beings in our soul group choose to explore a life full of influence that we share together, then why are we all not equal in these relationships during the lifetime? Why are some of us torchbearers, destined for closeness, and others quite distant? Why do we come to Earth blind and then learn when we could just be all-knowing in the other realm? Is it just a series of tests to be judged at death? This is the foundation of questions to be debated before going to step 2. Damn it, you're supposed to be leading. LOL. Here I am throwing out all the questions, and yet she's the one that's got a bunch of answers that she would be wanting to be questioning me.
But yet he's blowing away because he's not only has he awoken to all of this, but now he's asking for more. He's ready for more. I'm like, wow, who are you? Who is this person? You're amazing.
I'm dabbling into the concept of soul groups, which I had a dim understanding of, but I knew Angie knew more.
So what did I say? I so appreciate that you're working and trying to do this, and I will let you go if you need. Just tell me. I love talking with you, but I know we have lots of time. As for all the questions, sheesh, man, there's some tough work you got for me to explain. I'll get working on it and do my best. Don't have all the answers myself, but I'll muddle through as best I can. Hug. And then you said,
call me if you can.
Oh God. So I did call him, and I remember I was ridiculously giddy. I could not even focus. I couldn't think. I was a mess. I was ridiculously giddy. I don't know how much you remember of that. But he's all rational and calm, his typical self. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm laughing. I'm nearly crying. It was funny. Okay, so now I'm not even going to read all this because we'd be here for another 2 hours. But he asked questions and I was willing to answer. So my text starts here. Yes, that's all one text because that's how him and I text. We text books. Then, our computer's going to freeze again. Then there's all of this, a whole other page. And then it goes to here as well. All one text. Now I did warn him at the beginning. I went back after I wrote it all and I just warned him and said, long text, read it when you got time. But for those of you that have watched our last 2 question and answer videos, if you remember this little diagram, this is pretty much how I started my text, and it was explaining how we all come from this one energy, soul, creator, source, whatever you want to call it. We split into different souls. The twin flame is one soul that splits into a masculine and feminine energy. We have connections with all these beings, and we learn things and we grow. So I basically gave him the whole thing, and then I explained more about twin flames, what we were, and what the purpose of ascending Earth was, all of that stuff.
Twin Flames 101.
Yeah. The poor guy!
And of course, I was supposed to just read this and understand it. I think I had to digest this for a while.
But you did really good. We won't get too much into the next day, but this is what you said the very next day.
I said, good morning. You're right. Gonna read the Twin Flames again and save it for future reference. Stupid busy today.
And this was at 6:50 in the morning. This poor man is at work already. It's 6:50 in the morning. He's still at the very same job, and he still works the very same crazy hours. So, on that note, that was 11:11. I'm just going to share a little bit from my journal that I wrote the next day, in the very morning. So I said, well, it's here. The time truly is now, and it's finally time, and it's really happening. In other words, all this stuff I was getting, I was like, it's real. I said, Rob really is awakening. Holy shit. I'm just like blown away.
Holy bleep.
I said, I'm trying to let it all sink in. All my work, all I was getting, all my talks with his soul, they're real. My gifts really are coming back. I'm incredibly proud of myself. I did it. In other words, the 6 months of huge amounts of work that I was guided to do was real. It worked. All the energy I put in, that effort went somewhere. Now, I just wanted to share with you, I took notes. Patricia McNeely's November 8th video was called A Call to the Blu-ray, the 1111 Gateway. I'll just show you that up there. So here she is talking about 1111, that it's a gateway for twin flames, and yep, it was real for us. So one of the things she said in her video is, I applaud you because this has been a tough road to hang on, and you've started to see some of your abundance flowing to you. And I wrote, yes, Rob on November 11th and awakening and saying this path is what he chooses. Oh my God! So then there was just other things from the video that I was blown away by. One of them was the fact that she was saying you've activated each other, which is what we shared in our last story. So it was just incredible, the things I was getting from that video. I watched it after we had our 1111 experience. So again, you know, how I always got it, the experience first, then the validation. Not that I needed any more validation. I mean, I had all of his stuff, it's validation. What more did I need? So I think that's kind of it for this video, unless you wanted to share any more.
No, I really didn't. That was a really intense, long day full of distractions.
Intense day. Yeah, that was amazing. But the 1111 Gateway, I mean, not to say that that's going to be how everybody's journey manifests. There's many more gateways than just November 11th. But it certainly was the gateway for our opening. Wow, this man started blowing my mind. So next video, we'll share some more fun stuff. I think next video we're going to share how we finally met after this all happened. And like we had to meet and go, what do we do now with all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, so we're going to leave it at that. We love you guys. Thank you for connecting for another one of our neat little stories. And remember, as always, to connect with your twin, go within. And we'll catch you in hopefully another week. Bye for now.
Bye.